Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our last day of daily meditation with Christine. Good to see you all. Hope you can hear me. Very warm welcome to wherever you're joining from. And this has been a wonderful week exploring the topic of doubt with Christine, who, as I introduced at the beginning of the week, is not only a meditation teacher, but also a psychotherapist, trained in the core process psychotherapy, which some of you might remember from if you did the trauma course with Johnny White. And Johnny White's actually talked with us a few times from the Karuna Institute. So if you would like to explore more with Christine, I believe she works in an individual capacity one-on-one as well as leading meditation. So I'm putting her link for her website in the chat. And we look forward to welcoming you back at Sangha Live, Christine, next time. So just to remind everyone about Dana. Normally Friday is Dana Day at Sangha Live. So if you've been attending daily meditations all week and you hold off on giving your donation to support the teacher until Friday, today is the day. And if you can't give at this time, of course, still feel very, very welcome to be here. Let me post the link to donation. I'm sure most of you already have it saved, bookmarked, but if you don't, here it is. You can also just remember at sangha.live/donate. And thank you very much for supporting Sangha Live, to keep running these sessions, for all our amazing teachers to keep teaching with us, and to keep the wheels of the Dharma turning. Thank you, everyone. And see you soon.
So, hello again, friends. Lovely to be with you again today for our last session this week, in which we will continue our exploration of doubt and freeing oneself from doubt. So, I would like to start today by returning to a question I was asked in the chat yesterday. Please forgive me, I forgot your name. So someone asked me in the chat for a reminder of the Buddha's 5 steps for working with doubt. And in that moment, I couldn't answer because my mind went blank. So please forgive me for that too. So here's a recap of the Buddha's 5 steps for working with doubt. Doubt, and actually these 5 steps also apply to the other 4 hindrances. So the first, number 1, if doubt is present, one knows there is doubt in me. 2, if doubt is not present, one knows doubt is not present in me. 3, one knows how unarisen doubt can arise. 4, one knows how arisen doubt can be removed. 5, one knows how a future arising of doubt can be avoided. So I found this list in Venerable Analayo's book called Satipatthana, The Direct Path to Realization. And if you are interested, you can download the book on Sutta Central site on the internet for free. So that's for the recap. And that said, I have a few more things to say about that moment when my mind went blank. So I hadn't planned to talk about this, but I find it interesting when real life examples come up like this. And it is related to our subject, doubt and self-doubt. So it is an annoying thing, my mind going blank. And it seems to be a leftover from when I was a very timid and withdrawn adolescent. As an adolescent, my mind froze every time I had to speak in public. And this is why today I always need my notes when I give a talk. So my mind going blank, I really shamed myself with this for a long time. It made me really doubt about myself. So the narrative in my mind went something like this. The problem with you is that you don't have anything to say. And this accusation in my mind sounded very definite. And I believed it. So over the years, I inquired into that limiting belief a lot. And I know that it's not true. The inquiry has really worked for me. So this is an invitation to you to continue to inquire. You can use Byron Katie's 5 steps, 5 questions, 4 questions actually, that we use today. You can do it with a friend or by yourself or through writing in your diary. Test it for yourself. See if it works. In my case, self-doubt hasn't completely dissolved, and this narrative still comes up sometimes. And maybe it will be going on for the rest of my life. Maybe not. But what freedom to be able to talk about this openly without making such a big deal about it. So the point I'm trying to make here is that when something like this happens, when a limiting belief or narrative comes up, we need to continue to be very mindful so that we don't identify with the narrative. So that we don't make it all about me and our limiting story. So it is the identification with the story that is the problem, more than the thoughts that arise. And this introduces me to the 5th point of the Buddha's list, which is, one knows how a future arising of doubt can be avoided. We need to remember. So I don't think that self-doubt can be completely avoided. We cannot not have unwholesome thoughts. They arise in the mind. And we looked into the roots of self-doubt. I think it was, when was it? Tuesday or Wednesday. But we can avoid the full-blown drama by questioning the veracity of our unwholesome thoughts, like the Buddha did. We can avoid the full-blown drama by knowing well and understanding well the mechanisms, the patterns of mind and behaviors that don't serve us well. We can avoid the full-blown drama by inquiring into our limiting beliefs, by asking, is this true? Is this really true? Right up to the end of his life, the Buddha was visited and hassled by Mara. Mara, which is the personification of doubt and hindrances in Buddhism. Mara is all that blocks our path in life, making one feel stuck. Mara is a metaphor for inner turmoils and inner conflicts. Mara is also called the killer because it kills our sincere aspirations. There are multiple suttas in which the Buddha is attacked by Mara. But the Buddha, I meant to say, the Buddha sees Mara coming. And the Buddha famously says to Mara, I know you, evil one. Do not think otherwise. The Buddha sees Mara. And the Buddha sees through Mara. So in the same way, to avoid a full-blown drama, when self-doubt comes up, we need to see Mara coming. We need to see through Mara. And yes, I know, Mara can be really convincing, really seductive. So we need to know Mara well. We need to know the mechanisms, the narratives, the unwholesome thoughts that assault us in order to be able to defeat them. It is all about defeating identification. To me, my life, my problems. Through inquiry, we gain experiential knowledge. Experiential knowledge of the nature of doubt. And this is the key to freeing ourselves from its grip. This is how we can prevent self-doubt from overtaking us. I'd like to expand on 2 points. The first is about doubt and not knowing. The second is about doubt and action. Both aspects are connected to the right time to decide and to do things. So, doubt and not knowing. Sometimes when doubt arises, we just don't know what doubt is about. We can feel this resistance to move on, to move forward. And at the same time, we feel held back. We hesitate. And despite our inquiries, we really don't know what to do. So perhaps that happens when we are in the middle of something big, like a life transition. So then it's wise to slow down. When there is a big change happening, it requires to identify what it involves. Perhaps a whole process of inquiry is needed, over months. Perhaps we are going into uncharted territory. It is a molting process. I'm in a big life transition myself right now. I am progressively retiring. I still work, but less. And I'm wondering about my future. I'm thinking about what my options are. So this is new because I've been a social worker, a supervisor, a therapist now for 40 years. So quit? I don't really know what to expect. I don't really know what I want to do. And I can identify some fear of the unknown, which is normal because self likes things to be clear, to be known. Self doesn't welcome what is blurry. What I'm leading to is that there could be a temptation to eliminate doubt, to fill up life, to fill up my life, since I'm telling you about my story, to fill up my life to avoid the void. But to decide before term is taking the risk of missing ourselves. Sometimes we need to stay with our doubt. Sometimes we need to hold the tension, staying with the uncertainty, staying with the I don't know. And we need to trust the process. Something is maturing. It is a molting process whose outcome cannot be clear before term. So now I'd like to talk about doubt and action. When we have inquired and inquired, when we know the why, the how, the history, the mechanisms, the narratives, it's time to act. There is a right moment to act. I'm a Swiss, and so in Switzerland we say, you know, how people are very hung up on being on time. So there's a saying that goes like this: too early is too early, and too late is too late. So yeah, too early is too early. We're getting ahead of life, but too late is too late. And we may be holding back to avoid committing ourselves. If we don't commit ourselves, we might remain in a no man's land for long. So inquiry is a wonderful way to outmaneuver the traps of the mind, the traps of Mara. But at a certain point, we have to trust what our inner wisdom tells us. At a certain point, we need to act. Maybe we'll get it wrong. Well, if we get it wrong, we'll get up again. So let me finish with this story of the Buddha on the night of his awakening. The Buddha was attacked 3 times. And Mara's third attack was, who do you think you are to claim that you can attain awakening? Mara said to the Buddha, after all, look at you. You're all alone. Even your closest followers have deserted you. So who can bear witness to your worth? And the Buddha had this famous gesture. He touched the ground with his right hand, calling upon the earth to bear witness to his worth. And the earth responded, roaring in affirmation. The earth started shaking. There was lightning and thunder. And Mara's forces were vanquished. A little later in the night, the Buddha attained enlightenment. So, touching the earth, putting ourselves in the arms of something larger than ourselves, returning to the simple, to the naturalness of life, returning to what is already here. We are already awake. So let's meditate. Here goes the bell. listening to what is here. Listening to the simplicity unfolding. Body on the ground, touching the earth. Sensing the support of earth through this touch. We are much larger than what we think we are. Through this touch of body with the earth, we are in touch with the vastness of earth. This embrace opens us up. Through this simple embrace, we are the earth. sitting like a mountain. Unshakable confidence. Right here. Already here. Sensing the weight of the body. Sensing the dignity of the posture. Letting go of all the unnecessary thoughts, habits, letting them go, putting them down, putting them down to rest, as we, in the same way as we put down our weight, let it drop and rest. Sensing the body breathing. This mystery of breath coming and going. We are so much more than what we think. We are this mystery. We are this breath. Embracing this breath. And the breath embracing me. Embracing in this vastness. Embracing as this vastness. And if something is in the way right now, see if it's possible to let that go. Offer it back to earth, dropping it down, or offering it to the sky through your breath. Offering it back to awareness. And during the last minutes of this sitting, let's sit as if we were already free. Free from self-doubt and free from everything that is in the way. Sitting as if we were already free, right here. May we all free ourselves from doubt and self-doubt. May we all see the goodness of who we are right here. So, so if you have not heard the bell, I just rang the bell. And so now we have a little time for sharing questions, if you have any. And so I'd like to thank you for your presence and your dana. I loved being with you this week. I see. Let me look at the chat and see if there's something in there. Yeah, Rufaga says, as Martin says, if you have something to say, say it and don't rehearse and don't regret after that. Yeah, I find that very helpful. Mm-hmm. Janie, reflection, such a gentle, powerful. Oops, it jumped. Such a gentle, powerful awareness and presence in amidst these teachings. Thank you so much. Yes, I can see all your thank yous. So thank you for your thank yous. Hmm. So I'm enjoying these last minutes of presence with you. Elizabeth Edwards writes, could you say more about the 4 questions of Byron Katie in Inquiry? What you shared of your belief of having nothing to say was a shock, since that's been my secret shame all my life. I need to inquire into it. Yeah. Oops, I lost my earphones. So yes, you can look up Byron Katie's work on the internet. It's really easy to find. So the first question to ask is about a limiting belief is this true? Is this? And then the second question is, if the first answer was yes to the first question, the second question is this belief really true? To go a little deeper into that belief that it is true. And then what is the third question? The third question is, how does it feel in your body and in your mind and in your heart when you believe that belief? And the fourth question is, how would your life be if you were free from that belief? So yeah, You can look her work up. And she's written many books too. So Jane writes, I realize after this week that I often mix up self-doubt with uncertainty. But as self-doubt recedes, uncertainty is easier to live with, even becomes exciting. Wonderful, Jane. And thank you, Faith, for posting the questions. Yeah. And yes, thank you for all your thank yous. So, Nika. The instruction, oops, it's jumping. Let's see. The instruction to sit as if there was no doubt had really interesting effects. Oops, it jumped again. On my mind, I want to experiment with that in a playful way more often. If I enter the room for work with a client being insecure, for example. Also, thank you, Christine, for sharing your vulnerability. I can relate very much to this, and it is inspiring to see that you can just share thin in an exposed position as someone who gives a teaching that helps for my work too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So about the as if, sitting as if. So I last June, I was sitting with Martin in his 2 weeks retreat, and he offered that, and it was just so powerful for me. That's why I'm offering it back to you. Sitting as if, yeah, as if we were already free. And somehow the freeness opens and becomes available. Well, that was my experience. So happy it worked for you too. So I'm glad the sharings from my own experience seem to have been helpful. Yeah. Sharing our vulnerabilities is powerful. So thank you all for your presence, for your sharings. And I think I'll be back beginning of September. So have a good summer. Thank you all.